Shehelo Seedsta, Teri Gobin, Tulalip Tribal Chairwoman. First of all, I would like to send our love, prayers, and condolences to Officer Charlie Cortez's family. Charlie is a family man who loved his community, and he was lost in a tragic accident while he was on duty and protecting our treaty rights. For this, he will be remembered as a hero. I would like to thank everybody who assisted and those of you that are continuing to search for Charlie to try to bring him home. As a community, our hearts are broken, and it doesn't seem fair that we can't be there to be with the family at this time, but due to the COVID outbreak, it is not safe. As of last week, we had a total of 55 tribal members that tested positive, and we have another 60 or more that are awaiting test results and are on quarantine. As of last week, we had 4 tribal members that were hospitalized. 3 of those have recovered, and we have 1 that is still on the ventilator. And we would like to ask all of you prayer warriors to please say a prayer for her recovery. The issue with COVID is you can be asymptomatic and have no symptoms at all, but you can still affect those that you love. To the other extreme where you could be in the hospital and be on the ventilator. We have lost 2 of our elders due to COVID, and then 2 more that passed that had already recovered from COVID, but the damage that the COVID virus did to them contributed to their death. COVID can attack anyone. 2 of our board members just recovered from the virus. I would like to introduce you to Hazen Shopbell, who would like to share some information about his COVID experience with you.
How's it going? My name is Hazen Shopbell. I'm a tribal council member. Well, it was on November 19th when I first felt it. And it started off with a small little cough, like I was getting a cold. And then it went to the very next day on the 20th was that Friday. And I woke up not feeling so well, felt under the weather. And I kind of went about my day. I never left my house, thankfully. And I was working around my house, and I noticed I was sweating real easy. And then from there, it gradually got worse throughout the day. I started feeling more fatigued, kind of sore, not feeling myself. And then I was like, you know what? I better get tested. I better isolate myself. So I went downstairs and then got an appointment set up to go in and get tested. I got tested on that Friday around 1 o'clock, I believe. And through the weekend, Saturday morning, I was about 101 degree temperature. And so I started taking Tylenol through that period, like once every 6 hours to kind of help control my fever. And then by that Monday morning, I got a call back from the clinic saying I tested positive for COVID-19. And it was kind of a shocker. I'm like, okay, well, I lived through the weekend. I'm okay. I feel okay. That night come and I woke up with a temperature of about 104 degree temperature. And that was when I knew it was getting serious. And so then I started cycling off Tylenol and ibuprofen every 3 hours. That helped control my temperature, brought it down to 99 degrees. And so, and then from my symptoms, I was dizzy, was dehydrated. You can't think very clear. Your mind's always foggy, and you sweat a lot. I mean, that's one thing I can say. You sweat a lot. And then the next day, then my next symptom was on the 7th day, and I felt very I felt different. So throughout this time period, it starts changing, and I felt I had vertigo real bad for the 7th and 8th day. Real bad vertigo. I couldn't really walk. I was too dizzy, so I pretty much stayed in bed. Never even left the bed those 2 days. On the 9th day, I got up and I took a shower, and I couldn't breathe. I was trying to breathe in deep, and I couldn't take but maybe 30% breath. And so my wife see me. She says, "Well, man, you don't look good. I think it's time to go to the hospital." And so I drove myself to the hospital, and I called them, let them know I was on the way. I got there, and they put me in an isolated room, and then yes, they came in and says, "Hey, your lungs sound clear. Your oxygen is not too bad." I typically carry my oxygen levels usually around 98 to 99% oxygen level. At that time, I was around 93. And he says, "Well, that's pretty low for who you are, or for what you are and your age, but that's not too dangerously low." And so I was like, "Well, it hurts when I breathe and I can't breathe." Then they took an X-ray of my lungs, and I was full of pneumonia. And so the scary thing about this COVID is is that it doesn't really have the phlegm issue in the lungs. What it does is it attacks the lungs like pneumonia, but it's not really pneumonia. And so what's happening is you just stop breathing. You can't take a breath. You can't catch a breath. And you can be tested through the doctors listen to your lungs. They sound clear, but you can't breathe. And so they came in and gave me about 5 shots, 5 different medications, from my recollection, and pretty much told me, "This is all we can do for you." And so you have, you got to go home, and you're either going to go right, and hopefully won't see you again, and you turn for the better, or you're gonna go home, and I'll see you back in a couple of days, and you turn for the worst, and we'll probably have to start getting you ready for the machines. And being a young male, being active, I still work out, I still exercise, I still jog up and down the road here, and not thinking that it could happen to me. And if it does happen to me, I'm young, I can combat this thing. No, it's a fight you don't want to take on. It is real. And I was one of the first ones to think, "Oh, well, I'm young, I'm healthy, I'm tough. I can deal with it." And but when I'm sitting in a doctor's office and thinking and hearing them say, "The best thing to do is go home and rest and pray and hope I don't see you," and that's all they can do for me. So at that moment, I feel helpless, because this is it. Hopefully my body will be strong enough to fight this thing, and I don't come back. And if I come back, it's not going to be good. And I started thinking about, my children, my family, and not knowing if I'm going to see them again. And the scary thing is not only myself, but then my family, my wife, my children, I can't get no help. You know what I mean? You're basically helpless, and because this thing is so dangerous. What makes it so dangerous is the fact that they don't know what's going to happen. They don't know what it's going to do to you, or how your body's going to take it. You can be 10 years old, you can be 80 years old. It's not picky. So yes, there is a lot of the cases that's gonna, "Oh, well, I got a little tickle in my throat and a little headache, and that's all I got." But you don't know what card you're gonna pull. That's the dangerous part. Is I did get some of the worst end of it. And so when I got home with my pneumonia. You can't sleep. You're up every hour, every 2 hours. One, from this sickness doesn't really allow you to get full rest. But two is I'm not knowing if I'm going to die. So when you become positive with COVID, the clinics will give you a bag, and one is to check your temperature, and there'll also be a little device in there that checks your heart rate and your oxygen level intake. And then you test that every, 3 times a day. So, and there's the CDC sends you a text message is it in the morning? Well, they send you three times a day, and they want you to get your feedback of your oxygen level, of your temperature, of your symptoms, of your breathing. And so you're tracking your functions and how your body's taking this COVID. And through the time period, on the 9th day is when I went in and went to the hospital, and they said I had bad pneumonia. That, when I got home, was one of my toughest times, because you don't know if you're going to make it. You don't know what card you pulled. That's the scary part about it, because you're helpless, and no one can help you. And if they do, they're risking, getting it and not knowing how you're going to react to it. I'm very healthy, and to be down for 2 weeks, it's a long time. It's just like getting the flu for, a typical flu will last you maybe 2 days with the fevers, the body aches and chills. This thing lasts 10 days, and you don't get no break. You don't let up. There wasn't a minute out of the day that I got any relief. And so, yeah, then you spend the next week after you recover of sleeping, because your body's so exhausted from fighting for 2 weeks, for 10 days, excuse me. And then finally, now you get your lungs get a break, your body gets a break, and then now it's time. Now it's recovery time. And so, yeah, on the 10th day was getting better for me, and then 11th day, and then from there you slowly recover. I think right now I'm on my 18th day. Yep. So 18 days. The first 10 days was the real sick, combating and fighting every minute of the 10-day experience with this thing. And I spent the next 8 days sleeping. So that's scary for me. It's scary for my family. It's scary for my children, to maybe possibly go without a father. So we got to really, really be careful. This can happen to anybody. Just think always, if you have to leave your home, don't leave your home unless you have to. Mask up, have hand sanitizer, keep your distance, and do it for others, and do it for yourself, do it for your family, do it for your community, and for us as a tribe, and as Indian people, man, we're really close. We're really, shaking hands, hugging, how you doing, miss you, love you. We're family orientated, and with that comes being really close. But let's keep our distance for now, because we don't know the outcome of this thing on everyone. And so, be safe, keep your distance, be mindful, and let's get a cure first before we get back out there. And so that's the scary thing with this thing, is you don't know. You don't know if it's there. You don't know if it's going to be on the next doorknob you grab. You don't know it's going to be at the next uh, gas station handle. You don't know. So for the holidays, I say be very careful. It is a very tough time for all of us going into the holidays, but um, we would like to um, see each other for another holiday. So let's be mindful of that. Um, I'd say try to keep down the numbers in your house for the families that or for the ones that you live with. Um, that's fine, but you don't want no extra family over. At least some people that come over to your house that will cause least exposure to you and your family. And it is going to be a tough time for all of us, especially when you're out there shopping. You know, you're going to do some shopping. Be mindful of your surroundings. Keep your 6 feet distance, and try to get it all done at once. Don't continue to go out there and shop and expose not only yourself but your family. You don't want to bring these home to your children. Because the scary thing about it is not the fact that I got it, but the fact that now my children are at risk. Now my wife's at risk, and my loved ones. And you don't know. You don't know if it can turn for the worst and jeopardize your little ones. So this is real. It's not a game. It's something that you got to be very mindful of, and we want to see each other in the near future. So keep our distance, keep your masks on, keep your hands clean. Don't leave if you don't have to.
Staff has been working with Indian Health Service and the State Health Board to make sure that we have the COVID vaccination here as soon as it comes out. It will be given to first responders and the healthcare providers first, and then to our elders and those with compromised health situations. And then next it will go to essential staff and then out to the public. Our medical health director has assured us that the vaccination has been tested, is FDA approved, and is safe. However, there may be little side effects when you get the vaccination, just the same as when you get a flu shot, with the sore arms, achy muscles, but it outweighs the risk of not getting it. If you were to get the virus after you have gotten the vaccination, it would lessen the symptoms and they would not be life-threatening. I, for one, including my family, will be in line to get those shots, and we trust that this will help us to get back to our life as we remember it, being around community, family, and having gatherings again. Tribal government is open and services still will be provided, but we are trying to do this by appointment only, to do remote conversations, if it's by the phone, to take care of you and your needs. The government office will be closed December 24th through January 1st. This Friday, December 11th, is our regular board meeting, and we will be accepting visitors on the webinar that they've developed for us. However, you must sign up ahead of time with an email to the board staff. I would like to remind you to be safe, wash your hands, and limit your gatherings to those that are in your household. We would like to wish each and every one of you happy holidays, and Tigwitseed, and be safe. Tigwitseed.